Moving on, we got Browns at Ravens. Who you got there?
I'm going to go upset here, too. I think Cleveland gets it done. They almost came back against San Diego. This is a Baltimore team who did beat the Steelers on Thursday Night Football this past Thursday. But if they're without Steve Smith, they really don't have any big playmakers. The receiver, Perriman, they drafted in the first round, is still injured. Forsett is really their only guy. I'm a Joe Flacco fan, but I don't think it's enough to get done against Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to find a way to get a victory here against Baltimore.
I'm definitely going Browns, too. The way McCown played last week, barely losing to San Diego. The Browns' offense is looking pretty good. Their defense has been decent. I just don't see how Baltimore is going to pull that one out. The way it looks like Flacco's regressed, it looks like that whole team's kind of regressed this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree, too.
All right, next one, we have the Rams at Packers. Should be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Packers 24-21. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams somehow pull this one out, but ultimately I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the offense. It doesn't look like the Rams' offense has clicked yet. Their defense certainly has, but I don't know if they're going to be able to put up enough points to defeat the Packers, especially at Lambeau.
I'm going Packers, too. I think it's going to be close, too. I think it'll be a 7-point game. I'm going 24-17. I've seen a lot in the Rams this year. I think the Rams might have been able to pull this one off if they were at home, but they're in Lambeau. Rodgers is tough to beat in Lambeau. That Rams defense is looking scary, and once again, I don't see the offense of St. Louis being able to keep up.
Yeah, the Green Bay is favored by 10.5. That's a pretty wide margin. I would expect the Rams to pull within that. But if they can get pressure on Rodgers, but the thing is, the Packers do have a good offensive line. It'll be a good battle, nonetheless, to watch.
If they want to get consistent pressure, they need to make a mismatch because I believe what's his name, Bulaga's been out at. I'm not sure, is Bulaga a left tackle, left guard? I don't know, but they've had Barkley in there, and Barkley was horrendous for San Francisco.
Yeah, he struggled. Now he gets sent over to Green Bay to replace Bulaga, so he'll probably face Robert Quinn, or Aaron Donald. Either way, you're up against one of the best tackles in football, so we'll see.
Yep. All right, so now Bills at Titans.
Buffalo here. I think, I understand that the Titans are coming off a bye. They'll be ultra prepared for Buffalo. Buffalo's had a tough loss against the Giants at home. I like this Buffalo team. I like the aggressive style they play. I would expect the Bills to win by, I'm going to go 28-17 Bills. I like the way they run the football and play a good aggressive defense under Rex Ryan.
I'm going to go Bills here, too. I'm going to say it's going to be 21-20, and I say they're going to block an extra point. I'm going to throw that in there just because, I see they're pretty evenly matched to me other than the Bills' defense really stands out. I think Mariota's definitely going to put up a fight. The way I say the Bills have actually been a little disappointing this year.
You think so?
Yeah, they definitely dropping at home to the Giants. I would have expected them, they played New England pretty well after getting shredded pretty much by Brady.
Yeah, they made a good second-half comeback. They couldn't win, but they did. I like that they did come back. I think they had 17 penalties last week against the Giants. That is way too many. But certainly, I'm sure not all of them were official penalties. I mean, there could have been some questionable ones in there.
All right, Matt, we got to speed up. We're getting near to 2 videos. All right, so let's go on the rundown now. We got Cardinals at Lions. I'm going Cardinals. Who do you got?
Cardinals.
Cardinals. It should be a good game, though. Definitely watch a defensive matchup in this one. Any more commentary there, or moving on?
No, Cardinals should win this game. The way Palmer's playing, they did lose a tough one to the Rams, but they'll be able to bounce back and beat a Lions team who's struggling.
All right, Patriots at Cowboys. I definitely see the Patriots going this one. It's definitely because of Brandon Weeden and all the injuries on the Cowboys. What do you got?
I'm going to go upset again. I'm going to go Cowboys. I think if they can run the football efficiently with Randall and McFadden and keep the Patriots off the field. The Cowboys have lost 2 tough games now, and I think they're going to bounce back against New England.
All right, so now next one, Broncos at Raiders.
Hate to say it, I think the Broncos get this game. I wouldn't be surprised, as a Raider fan, I wouldn't be surprised if Oakland can somehow come up with it. I don't think the Broncos are undefeated, but they're the worst 4-0 team in my opinion. They barely beat the Vikings at home, who, by the way, lost to the Niners.
Yeah, I'm going Broncos in this one. I wouldn't be surprised also if the Raiders pull this one off, and I do agree with you. The Broncos are the worst 4-0 team this far. I mean, their defense is great, but Peyton Manning has clearly lost a step.
That's the biggest thing for me is their defense. They have great corners between Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib, and I think that's going to be the big factor in this game.
All right, next one we got 49ers at Giants. Who do you got in this one?
Giants, they're going to move to 3-2 and tie for first place because I think the Cowboys will win too. But the Niners are on a low. The only positive you can really take from the game against the Packers was their defense. But I think the Manning should do a good job shredding this Niners defense with Odell Beckham Jr. And maybe they'll get Victor Cruz back as well. Who knows?
I'm actually going to go Niners in this one. I see a good matchup defensively on the Giants offense. Yeah, the Niners secondary is pretty weak, but when you look at the way their front 7 played against Green Bay, I see a repeat performance in this one. And as far as offensively for the 49ers, I believe that it's going to be carried on by Carlos Hyde. I don't think Kaepernick's going to have another standout performance. I say Kaepernick throws 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and once again, people question him being quarterback even though they won. All right, so last game, we have the Monday Nighter, Steelers at Chargers. Who you got here?
I'm going to go Pittsburgh. I think that was a tough loss against the Ravens on Thursday Night Football. I expect them to come back and on a prolonged week. I think they're going to be all right. This is a Chargers team who barely pulled out a victory against Cleveland, who, in my opinion, isn't a very good football team. I do like Melvin Gordon, though. He has 56 carries, 228 yards on the season. But I think Pittsburgh will find a way to get this done under Mike Vick. I think Vick played well enough for them to win. Unfortunately, they missed too many field goals and then ultimately cut their kicker.
I'm going to go with Chargers in this one. I just don't see how Mike Vick's going to keep up with Rivers. I think it's going to be close, but I think San Diego's going to pull it off in the end. All right, so now we got our Week 5 picks in. One thing I think is going to be something to watch this week is the penalties this year. You're going to see a lot of penalties thrown. A lot of this is because the NFL has brought in a ton of new refs, and they're just not seeing, like, you look at years prior, they haven't been throwing like this ever. I'll give you some numbers here. We have 960 penalties this year for 8,105 yards through 4 weeks, and last week we had a record.
Way too many.
Way too many. They need to cut it down. I believe I saw they actually did leave a few go in the Niners-Packers game I was watching. They were letting guys get away with offsides on both sides, which is something you don't do.
Not offsides, no. I don't. Offsides is certainly something you got to call, but definitely I'll allow the cornerbacks to play physical, allow the defense to play physical as well as offense. If there's a little pushing and shoving both sides, don't call that. If it becomes too extent and too dramatic, then definitely call it. But let them play. This is football, ultimately. I think penalties slow down the game, and it's not good for the game. It just gives the offense an edge, and already these offenses are so high-powered enough. Penalties, they don't need penalties to help them out even more.
All right, well, that's all we got in time. This is the Pieczynski Kerns Sports Show. Signing off. All right. Got anything else to add, Matt?
No. Thank you for inviting me on the show, by the way. Today was a good day. Got plenty of sports in.
All right. Thanks, Matt. See you guys next week.